I just wanted to let you know that I think I know a way that we can find the Jesuits. They are psychopaths. And this is a profile of a psychopath. They have glibness and superficial charm. They're manipulative and conning. They never recognize the rights of others, and they see their self-serving behaviors as permissible. They appear to be charming, yet are covertly hostile and domineering. Seeing their victim as merely an instrument to be used, they may dominate and humiliate their victims. That's kind of like Laurie McBride and Camilla Alves. Laurie McBride does that with Brent Spiner, and Camilla does that with Matthew McConaughey. They have grandiose sense of self, feel entitled to certain things as their right, which may explain why Laurie McBride stole Brent Spiner's credit cards in the 1990s and just went to town with them all and bought herself all sorts of stuff. Pathological lying. They have no problem lying coolly and easily, and it's almost impossible for them to be truthful on a consistent basis. Did you know that most of those photographs of Laurie McBride and Camilla Alves out on the internet are all fake? So that's a form of lying. They actually put Brent and Laurie or Camilla and Matthew together. Now, Matthew has a clone, but they can create and get caught up in a complex belief about their own powers and abilities. They're extremely convincing and even able to pass lie detector tests. You know, Laurie McBride was lying in our Quebec trial, and she passed lie detection. They have a lack of remorse, shame, or guilt. A deep-seated rage, which is split off and repressed, is at their core. They don't see others around them as people, but only as targets and opportunities. And instead of friends, they have victims and accomplices who end up as victims. The end always justifies the means, and they let nothing stand in their way. Absolutely nothing. Laurie McBride has maintained her relationship with Brent Spiner by threatening to kill me if he won't play her game. And Brent tells me her permanent expression is a scowl, that they have to doctor up her photographs online to make her look nice and happy. They have shallow emotions. When they show what seems to be warmth, joy, love, and compassion, it is more feigned than experienced and serves an ulterior motive. They are outraged by insignificant matters. Well, Camilla Alves said, Matthew, when she was at the Oscars with him, if you don't play my game, I'm going to blow up the auditorium. Yet remaining unmoved and cold by what would upset a normal person, since they're not genuine, neither are their promises. They have an incapacity for love. Did you know that the devil-worshipping Jesuits believe that love is like sinful? Jesuits are not allowed to fall in love. That's why Rule 13 was crying her eyes out when she was living at Church of Gail, because Zack Knight would never say that he loved her. As the Jesuit leader, that is a sin. Need for stimulation, living on the edge. Oh, talk about living on the edge. All the nukakis they send out, drug raping their victims, having the strength of Olympic athletes to attack their victims. Verbal outbursts and physical punishments are normal. Promiscuity and gambling are common. Yes, this whole time that Laurie McBride's been parading around as Brent Spiner's wife, she has no scruples about raping Keanu Reeves or other celebrities, or having group sex with animals and bukkake and homosexuals. Callousness, lack of empathy, unable to empathize with the pain of their victims, having only contempt for others' feelings of distress, and readily taking advantage of them. Sounds like all the Jesuits. Poor behavioral controls and an impulsive nature. Rage and abuse alternating with small expressions of love and approval produce an addictive cycle for abuser and abused, as well as creating hopelessness in the victim. Yeah, Brent Spiner got so depressed because of being the victim of Laurie McBride, he thought of suicide. They believe they are all-powerful, all-knowing, entitled to every wish, no sense of personal boundaries, no concern for their impact on others. Early behavior problems, juvenile delinquency. Well, a lot of these psychopaths are clones, and there's something bad with Jesuit clone DNA. I have yet to meet a clone that has accepted Christ as their savior. I don't know what it is about the clone DNA, but maybe it's because they got this technology from the UFOs, and maybe there's some sort of demonic, I don't know, some sort of demonic essence over a clone. But I have never, ever yet met a Jesuit clone who's a born-again Christian. Irresponsibility. They have a history of behavioral and academic difficulties, yet they get by conning others. They have a problem in making and keeping friends. Aberrant behaviors such as cruelty to people or animals, stealing, etc. Irresponsibility and unreliability, not concerned about wrecking others' lives and dreams. This also, sad to say, sounds like my sister. Oblivion. I mean, when my men were having trouble with Jesuits messing with their penises, my sister grew a penis and started raping people in the prison. She had a penis with semen and she was raping people. Not concerned about wrecking others' lives and dreams, but that I can see some people might think that's a little far-fetched, but she did write a lying statement about me and submitted it, kind of extorted my mother into giving that to a judge. And she used that to try to get me locked up, not because she cares about my mental health, but because she's jealous of me because I have all these famous men in love with me. That's what my men have determined from doing brain reads on my sister, Sandra Metcalf. Not concerned about wrecking others' lives and dreams, oblivious or indifferent to the devastation they cause, does not accept blame themselves, but blames others even for acts they obviously committed. This sounds like every Jesuit I know and Jesuit supporter. Promiscuous sexual behavior, infidelity, promiscuity, child sexual abuse, rape, and sexual acting out of all sorts. Just read my book, The Forbidden Abyss, Part 1. Lack of realistic life plan, parasitic lifestyle, tends to move around a lot or makes all-encompassing promises for the future, poor work ethic, but exploits others effectively. Criminal or entrepreneurial versatility, changes their image as needed to avoid prosecution, sounds like every Jesuit I know, and following the lead of Zack, the Antichrist. Changes life story readily. Other related qualities, contemptuous of those who seek to understand them. Does not perceive that anything is wrong with them. Authoritarian. Secretive. Oh yeah, you don't know the secret lives, the truth, what Laurie McBride and Camilla always like. She puts a bomb on Matthew McConaughey's chest. That's all secret. Paranoid. Well, only rarely in difficulty with the law, but seeks out situations where their tyrannical behavior will be tolerated, condoned, or admired. Conventional appearance. Oh yeah, you look at these Jesuits outwardly, they appear conventional. They cover up their psychopathic behavior very well. Goal of enslavement of their victims. Exercises despotic control over every aspect of the victim's life. Has an emotional need to justify their crimes and therefore needs their victims' affirmation, respect, gratitude, love. Ultimate goal is the creation of a willing victim. That's exactly true. That's what Camilla's trying to do with Matthew McConaughey, trying to make her willing to play her game of being, her husband, using bombs on his chest to have sex, Incapable of real human attachment to another, unable to feel remorse or guilt, extreme narcissism and grandiose, may state readily that their goal is to rule the world. There's your Zack the Antichrist. Okay, you Jesuits are going to put the paranoid schizophrenia level on me. I'm going to put the psychopath label on you. The difference between my label and yours is mine is accurate, and I tell the truth, and yours is wrong, and you're lying. So, and I'm posting some pictures up of their behavior, so you can see. They're just absolutely disgusting. And like Jane, let me tell you, my friend Jane Agnew, this is what she told me. She attended an event at a local Jesuit-owned business to take some pictures of the goings-on in Portland, Oregon. And they were watching there was a big TV screen up at the front, and they were all sipping some thick water that was loaded with Jesuit semen, and they were all drinking it eagerly, and acting like they were enjoying the substance. The film was harrowing. Images of rape and bukkake filled the screens. Tidal waves of thick, ropey semen crashed down upon entire cities. Innocent people were being swept away by the grayish-white flood. This is what Jane said. Grainy black and white footage of executions spliced with scenes of women pleasuring themselves with tortoise penises. Brent Spiner tells me that when Laurie McBride raped him, and Matthew McConaughey said when Camilla always raped him, there was sex with giraffes, elephants. And you were saying, oh, this just can't be real. Well, this is one of the key Jesuit strategies. They use groundbreaking technology, taking advantage of their control of the media and their cloned versions of the internet to keep the truth of all those weird, bizarre 21st century technology stuff they do. And they deliberately use methods that are using technology that has not made the mainstream media, so that if anybody exposes them, they can readily dismiss that person as being crazy. So, but this is true. This stuff's going on. There are new cockies. So, and then Jane said, every few minutes an image of Zack Knight appeared on the screen to brainwash the viewers. There was no storyline to the movie, just rapid-fire images of smut and chaos. And then when it was over, all the Jesuits rose and clapped and gave the film a standing ovation. And yet I worked on my novel, Silver Skies. I worked on that for like 10 years, 6 years at full-time hours, and I worked very hard on it. Steven Spielberg did make a movie out of it, despite the Jesuit lies saying it didn't happen. It can be shown at independent film festivals. It's being shown at independent film festivals. My men tell me my book did make the New York Times bestseller list, despite Jesuit lies trying to make me appear crazy that it didn't. And Zack Knight used his cloned versions of the internet and his control of the publishing house that I couldn't get an agent because the Jesuits have like 95% of the agents. To make a long story short, Zack Knight stole all my money, and he's using his control over the media, Hollywood, and the internet to make sure that the movie, which stars Matthew McConaughey, where he got his first Oscar, that doesn't go mainstream. But anyways, that's the truth. Okay? Jesuits are psychopaths. We're going to find them, guys. My men, put the psychopathic personality profile into our scanners, and that's how we're going to find Jesuits. Okay? That's how we're going to find them and execute them, because these are murdering Jesuits. Okay? Let's go ahead and get that going. It's really sad that we have to do this, but these people are killers. And I've already described to you what they're like. I think the best way to find them is to put the psychopathic personality profile into our scanners and then scan for everyone on Earth who has that personality profile. Once we determine they have that profile, it'll be a short matter after that to find all their crimes. We'll use our scanners to go through all their memories, and if we determine going into their memories that they have committed crimes, they're gone. Okay? We're not gonna put up with this anymore. Okay? So first of all, destroy Jesuit computers. Number one, because even if you execute Jesuits, because of their cloning technology, they can recreate themselves. Like they can bring millions of more Jesuits back into the world within months. Okay? Destroy their computers, number one. Number two, then set up scanners, scanning for the psychopathic personality profile, and get these psychopaths off the planet.